So what I'm going to show next is something that should resonate with a lot of you out there, which is a support call from remote workers that are complaining that an application is slow or it's impacted and they can't do their daily work. With a lot of workers working from home now, this is a common challenge, which is what VPN did they actually connect to? And then which web server did they connect to on the back end? And then you can begin to find correlation and troubleshoot. So what I'm going to show is how we solve that problem, also showing off the flexibility of the tool, how you're dealing with reality and not assumptions of what is happening. You're looking at what is truly happening in your environment, as well as consistency, meaning you'll be able to do this every single time and not just cross your fingers and hope that it works. I'd like to start off by pointing out the flexibility of where you start here. I can search by username, MAC address, or IP address, depending on what I'm trying to troubleshoot. In this case, I have a username, and I want to know everything related to that username. And so I'm already pulling up internal IP addresses, what he's connecting to from the outside, what internal routers he's using. In this case, I want to know specifically which VPN concentrator he's using, which is, there's the machine IP address. If I want more information, I click the information button, and it tells me what port he's coming off of. Here's all the applications it's talking to. There's 30 of them. I'm going to look at web traffic. And I see here there's 21 web servers. So that's how quickly I was able to correlate all that information. And you should ask yourself, how many tools would I need to use to answer these questions? What machine did this username get? Which VPN concentrator did he actually connect to? And then what web servers did he talk to on the back end? So just to drive that point home, what we did was pinpoint the problem with a complex multi-vendor architecture in just a few minutes and just a few clicks. And we immediately identified the problem domain. So we'd like to ask, how would you normally accomplish this? This is the skeleton key that's using one tool to visualize all those different vendors and technologies. We identified the problem domain, and now we can document exactly what's happening based on reality of the environment. Related to the goal of flexibility, it's important that not just several vendors and several types of technology are merged in with your tools, but actually that those tools are able to be used by different groups and many people within those groups that are easy to use. So we're going to have an example here of how this exact same tool can be used by security personnel. The supply chain attack through SolarWinds is a great example of why it's critical to have forensic historical data. Without it, remediation of the event goes from quick and easy to very difficult or even impossible. Here, the example has a remote user that has had some unusual activity and they need to take a closer look at it. Again, they need to figure out what VPN that they connected to, possibly globally, and also which applications is that user connecting to internally, and audit that. Same as the last one, we're going to demonstrate the flexibility of navigating through different types of technologies. We're going to show that this is reality. This is not a summary of what's happening. This is line by line forensic detail, and also consistency, that you'll be able to repeat this every single time. So, quick use case of how I could use this exact same screen from two different departments. Let's start with security. Let's do some bare minimum questions if they have suspicions that this username is compromised. So they go, when he connected to the VPN, was he in the United States? You can see the answer is yes. This is his Comcast IP. He connected to the VPN. Now let's get go into the good stuff once he gets to his internal IP. So now as a SecOps guy, I can go in and say, I'm going to look through this list. There's 40 of them. See if there's any well-known ports that are suspicious, get an idea of what's going on here. So what did we just do there? Well, we remediated the event with a complex multi-vendor architecture in just a few minutes with just a few clicks. And we immediately verified with court-admissible forensic detail that that activity was valid. So I'd like to ask you, how would you normally accomplish this? Do you have one tool that can visualize several vendors and several types of technologies feeding it? And also, are you getting those line by line details for digital forensics and threat hunting? Meaning, can you find that needle in a stack of needles? That's the power of the skeleton key.